Wrestling fans, New Dimension Wrestling brought to you live courtesy of the NDW Fan Cam. You can find out more about the Fan Cam, including the legendary Barroom Brawl, plus you can see the Fire Baseball Bat. That and much more. This from New Dimension Wrestling Fan Cam Volume number 2, which you can get at 503-234-0196. 503-234-0196. This will explain the reason for the attack on Louis the Kid Rock in the NDW Heavyweight Title Tournament, Jonny Fairplay.
Well, I think Nikki Sixx and Matt Farmer hit the nail on the head when they explained why their attack was taking place. Louis the Kid Rock got a bye, and this is why right here. Bruiser Bryan, because of all of his previous accolades in Portland wrestling and in the entire Pacific Northwest back to his Championship Wrestling USA days, he was rewarded with a first-round bye in the NDW Heavyweight Title Tournament. Because of his actions in this match and further meetings between NDW officials and Bruiser Bryan has been suspended from the NDW Heavyweight Title Tournament. Not from New Dimension Wrestling, just from the tournament itself.
And tonight, fans, when you're watching this tape, Louis the Kid Rock did not know who his mystery opponent was. So this was previous to the tournament, but this was the match that basically caused his suspension right here. Bruiser Bryan was already placed in the tournament. Bruiser Bryan was already given a first-round exemption from the tournament. But right here, he showed his true colors, Jim Valley. I like this. I don't agree with the suspension one bit. I'll tell you what, Bruiser Bryan is the man of the Pacific Northwest. You want to talk about a guy who has seen and done it all and kicked everybody's butt. And then he made his appearance in New Dimension Wrestling. Last time we saw Bruiser Bryan, he was a bit of a fan favorite, fighting Bart Sawyer when he was running with the dark side, dealing with a bunch of bad people like the BBC. But then we see Bruiser Bryan tonight, and he's got a bit of a mean streak. Is it because everyone had been turning on Bruiser Bryan Cox? There's something brewing in the mind of Bruiser Bryan. I mean, he's about to unleash just a warpath right here on New Dimension Wrestling, starting with Louis the Kid Rock. And look at that guy, foreign object. Is this guy been in Bruiser Bryan's ear? Is this the method behind the madness right here? Are you sure that's not Father Guido Sarducci? It's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I'll tell you what, Bruiser Bryan Cox returned to in-ring action. Look at that face! Look at the eyes of Bruiser Bryan Cox. He's often called the Rage Man. Look at the rage that is pent up in Bruiser Bryan Cox, along with his manager Gallagher, here tonight on New Dimension Wrestling. Look at this crazy fool. That guy, I don't even want to get into that guy. He was... Yeah, look at that guy. That guy... we certainly encourage fans to get involved, but not as much as that guy did tonight. Look at Bruiser Bryan nails Louis the Kid Rock with the chain. Now, Louis thought that his good old buddy Bruiser Bryan was going to be his mystery opponent that night. He goes, hey, I got no heat with Bruiser Bryan. Everything's going to be cool. You saw him really making the motion. Me and him are boys. Look at Louis the Kid Rock pisses off everybody in New Dimension Wrestling. Bruiser Bryan tears into Louis the Kid Rock. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at you hanging around that ringside. By the way, he's getting web pictures that you can see right now on ndwwrestling.com. You can see pictures of this match, the Barroom Brawl, the flaming baseball bat, and more. Everything you can find on the NDW Fan Cam at 503-234-0196 and go to ndwwrestling.com. Look at those vicious headbutts from Bruiser Bryan Cox on Louis the Kid Rock. Louis the Kid Rock is just flabbergasted right now. He has no idea what is happening. He's got to be in shock. Shock from pain and just stunned to see his former friend. What? Don't remind me not to be in the same room as Bruiser Bryan Cox again. Bruiser Bryan Cox is a machine. He is a bulldozer, and he has taken apart Louis the Kid Rock. Side slam now, bam! Right through the concrete goes Louis the Kid Rock. Look at there, he's cranking it up, and when he cranks it up, he drops it down, Jim Valley. Louis the Kid Rock, I would not want to be in his shoes in this match, fans. This is one of the main reasons why, unfortunately, we had to bar Bruiser Bryan. We fined him. He refused to pay the fine. We had no choice but to ban him from the NDW Heavyweight Title Tournament, but he is still a part of New Dimension Wrestling. Louis the Kid Rock able to be a little bit quicker that time than the Bruiser, the Rage Man, Bruiser Bryan Cox.
Look at those punches by Lewis the Kid Rock. Almost little effect. Bam! There's big effect right there. Lewis the Kid Rock mounting the comeback.
Lewis the Kid Rock certainly smaller than Bruiser Brian Cox, but able to get that boot right underneath the chin and able to take Bruiser Brian down. Lewis the Kid Rock has had enough. He is now choking out Brian Cox with the chain, and I'm glad Lewis is able to get a little bit of payback here on the Rage Man.
Looks like a little blood trickling down the face of Lewis the Kid Rock. That's the first time that kid's tasted his own blood, Jim Valley.
And you can get it on New Dimension Wrestling Fan Cam Volume 2. Also the Straight Blast to Hell, which you're going to see a little bit of tonight and more of tomorrow at 503-234-0196. Gorgeous power slam. Shades of Road Warrior Animal in his prime. Look at Bruiser Brian Cox.
Bruiser Brian is definitely just an absolute killing machine.
Look at that splash!
Sending a message to all the young talent in New Dimension Wrestling. This is his territory, Jim Valley. This guy has owned this territory for, what, 8 years now?
If not longer. And there's a guy who loves to see Bruiser Brian. A salute from the fans, and then there is Foreign Object.
You gotta love Foreign Object.
There's a foreign object, a steel chair to the back of Lewis the Kid Rock, courtesy of the Rage Man, Bruiser Brian Cox.
I believe that was an international object, Jim Valley.
Look, Jim Ross from WCW, I don't need to get into that. Headbutt again by Bruiser Brian Cox on Lewis the Kid Rock. He knows that he split the kid open, and he's tasting some of Lewis's blood right now, too.
I think he wants his blood on him. I mean, I think we're seeing a sadistic, new and improved as I see it, Bruiser Brian Cox.
You may not agree with the tactics, fan, but you've got to respect Bruiser Brian, and you've got to appreciate the intensity. I have never seen Brian Cox this intense, and this is something that definitely needed to happen in the career of Bruiser Brian Cox. There's no doubt about that.
Well, that I agree with. However, you gotta play the game the way the game is meant to be played, Jim Valley. When you talk to officials, you deal with them in a way in which you know that good things can happen. And Bruiser Brian did not go that route.
Misses there with the leg drop as Bruiser Brian Cox on Lewis the Kid Rock. Lewis the Kid Rock able to mount another comeback here with some punches. Not landing very well with those, kind of just flailing him because he is exhausted.
Whoa! Whoa! That was the leg! That was the leg! That was broken! That right there. Look at there, Jim Valley.
Fans, Bruiser Brian going right for the leg. Shoulder block there. Flying tackle from Bruiser Brian Cox. Once again sends down Lewis the Kid Rock. And there's that one.
Look at this idiot! Hey!
That guy should be Foreign Object. He should be Bruiser Brian's manager.
I think Foreign Object is doing A-OK, Jim Valley.
I don't know who that guy is, but he loves Bruiser Brian Cox, and he loves New Dimension Wrestling.
Look at there.
The full Nelson from Bruiser Brian Cox. Not since the days of Billy Jack Haynes.
Look at there. This match is over. This match is, look at the blood pouring down the face of Lewis the Kid Rock right there. He's not done.
Fans, there is your winner, the Rage Man, Bruiser Brian Cox, using the full Nelson. Look at that intensity. Look at the face of Bruiser Brian Cox.
Jim Valley, this didn't stop out here. This continued to the back. This was Bruiser Brian like I've never seen before. Look at there. Look at there. Bam! Punch to the face. This isn't over. This continued to the back, Jim Valley. The guys never stopped coming out. There were guys breaking these guys up for minutes and minutes on end, with Lewis taking the blood of the fall.
They got the chain, Foreign Object with the chain, the fan.
Look at that guy.
You are the stuff, Brian. There's no doubt about that. Ladies and gentlemen, the return to New Dimension Wrestling.
Look at there.
For Bruiser Brian Cox. And that is why he has been banned from the tournament. He's just too unpredictable, and he would not pay the fines for the damage that he inflicted.
Look at there. Kenny Lush is out there. There's Drew Gage, the disposable douche.
Disposable youth Drew Gage and the loose cannon Kenny Lush out to survey the damage done by Bruiser Brian.
Yeah, stupid punk, just like you, Jim Valley.
Around like you little babies all my life.
It's good to see a little blood out of him.
Yeah!
Yeah!
There's Johnny Fairplay's mom.
You don't want to be, you little bastards. Yeah!
Wow, fans a little uncensored here.
Kill douchebag! 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 Douchebag!
Fans excited about Drew Gage.
Get up, Bruiser! Put on your pants, Kenny!
Yeah!
putting everybody on notice.
Yeah, starting with Jim Bally here on New Dimension Wrestling. That guy, when this tournament is over, Jim Bally, he's coming after you first.
He is coming after the belt, fans. Louis the Kid Rock feeling the wrath of the Rage Man, Bruiser Brian Cox, tonight here on New Dimension Wrestling.